Hey everyone, John Henry here, Slingshot Futures Trading Group, SSFTG. Welcome back to the video. In this one, it might look a little bit different, but we still have our 5-minute S&P candle-by-candle market psychology. I wanted to bring the charts a little bit darker, something to a little normal of what I'm used to looking at. The white backgrounds are really eye killers for me. Either way, same concept though. We're going to be looking internally into each of these candles and seeing, what is it that the market's doing? What is it that the market may be thinking? Who's operating where? And what are they trying to accomplish? And starting out of the gates, we are opening up with a monster of a gap to the downside, like no remorse, totally left behind, outside gap down, just gone, right? So with this kind of continuation down, sometimes the market will achieve a half gap distance. So if you were to take this overall measurement from the close to the open, and then measure that distance in half, I'm just going to eyeball it, then realistically eyeballing it about 50-50 of the distance, closer to about here. That's usually a zone where the market will try to reach up to. It doesn't have to be perfect, but right around that area is where the market's looking for. Now, in terms of the zone of interest being that area, well, we're obviously pretty far away, but there's a lot of bearish context. Sellers are going to be looking for continuation, and they're going to be looking to effectively, whatever the opposite of BTFD is, sell the effing rip, so STFR. We've got this rally to the upside for them to STFR into and try to push off of the 43.79s, 43.80s in that area. We have an inside bull bar, relatively strong, but after a strong gap down like this, it's more likely going to be a trap. It's not to say that the buyers won't be able to get something going here, but if the bulls are going to take it, they're going to have to be swing traders. And a 2-to-1, I mean, it kind of fits. I would rather see something like this. It's an inside bar, and this way you can go for like a 5-to-1 up the settlement and make it worth your while, because I just don't see the probability with this strong of a gap to the downside to want to go long without looking for one heck of a reward. The bulls do get a little bit of follow through. It looks like, well, wait a minute, we've got 3 strong bull bars back to back. But wait a minute, the first candle, this is only the first time that we've actually been able to get out of the first 5 minutes. So it's kind of looking okay, and maybe the bulls start showing up on the lows, but really, it would be nice to see a bit of extra follow-through, another one of these bull bars or something. We still have the half-gap objective above. It's trying to push out. Maybe it'll reach out to something. Okay, weak bear bar, but one big caveat here, it did not close back underneath that first 5-minute bar. That's a big clue. So if the bulls do take this and we continue above the high of this bear bar as though it were to trigger in, or perhaps even dip underneath the bear bar, and then rotate up with a nice bull bar ending, kind of trapping underneath the base, bulls are going to be looking for a continuation to the upside. Oof. Okay, well that wasn't the continuation they were looking for. It did close directly on the break-even point, which is right at the top of the 5-minute bar, but honestly, what did this really prove? This didn't prove a thing. They trapped underneath the last bear bar, so maybe if they can trigger above this one, they might have something going. From a risk-reward perspective, 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, etc. They still have some room to go to the upside, but it is pretty aggressive still. Okay, that doesn't help anything. So now we've got an inside bear bar, which is closing underneath their entry points. Not really any bulls going to stick in this anymore. Much more likely that if bulls are in this and it's starting to close back down, they're realizing, wait a minute, this is going to cause some problems. If this breaks underneath, a lot of them might be looking to exit at break even above the highs of that 5-minute bull bar, the start of the day rather. And, it just doesn't look like the bulls are holding on to it right now. They're trying, but why is it going down, right? Something's wrong. Now, from a seller's perspective, it's an inside bear bar, and sellers could potentially sell underneath the bottom of it. Here again, you really wouldn't want it to rotate up. It would have to be, even a 2-to-1 doesn't really fit, so they would have to be either a scalper or wait for a better entry. If they can get a better entry, like have it triggered down underneath the inside bear bar, go down and then go back up and get them in, back towards like where the bear bar closed, basically. Doesn't even have to go back up to the, just where it closed, just something a little better. Then that would offer up something that would fit possibly a 2-to-1 on the inside of the lows. So a lot of sellers may be looking to backfill some of this if it triggers underneath, but I mean, either way, sellers are likely going to try to get this to go to the downside, at least to the open of the day. We do get a nice drive to the downside. It bounces off the open of the day, but a really strong bear continuation. I don't know if there was any pullback inside of that candle, but so far we haven't hit the downside targets per se. Maybe we still have an opportunity for sellers to sell inside this bear bar to try to get the continuation down. Realistically, the bulls are still probably stuck. Maybe they need to get out at break even on a pop. Nice pop back up to the break evens. It couldn't even break above the previous bear bar's high. Inside bear bar closing right back down on its low, signifying that the sellers still have their grip and the bulls don't really have a whole lot going for them. Inside bull bar, weak bull bar, doesn't demonstrate anything either. And realistically, if the bulls did buy above this, they haven't really been given a chance to get out of break even yet, which is important to note, because if this does start sliding down, there's going to be a lot of stops under the bottom, and that could create a two-legged move down. It's a surprise move. They weren't necessarily expecting that to happen. Strong bear bar down, getting close to the targets, not quite there yet, but close. And there we go, down to the target area. And now they finally achieved the target area after grinding their way down. Notice something very interesting is taking place here. They have not broken a previous candle's high the whole way down. Now, normally, I would like to see that on the initial drive to keep things going, but a little reversal off the top and that many bear bars, and realistically, sellers are going to be looking to sell above that previous bear bar's high. Their stops are going to be above the top, so it's a little bit troublesome from that perspective. That means that they are definitively scalpers, but continuation sellers are looking to jump on board. We have the trigger in, so sellers were triggered in, and from an actual risk perspective, let's see if they're able to get a 2-to-1 to the downside, as well as the 1/2-to-1 scalp. They're both on the table, so we just have to make sure that they're ready to go. It's funny that they both lined up in almost the exact same spot, but we have a little bit of an area of interest. Let's see if they can keep going. Okay, we've got to modify it a little bit further. Oh, we got to modify it a little bit further. Now we're starting to break back down. Can the sellers get the continuation? We haven't really broken the low by much. Trying weak bull bars, strong bull bars possibly following through. Sellers may give up if it triggers above this bull bar. It does not trigger above the bull bar, and the bear bar goes back down. Okay. Came very, very close to the target. Did not fulfill, so this bull bar up. It may spook some traders. We may see a little bit of a pulse back to the upside here. A lot of traders missing their targets to the downside by, what, 41.75 down to 40.25. So, I mean, not very much. And now it's all the way back up, closing like this. Yeah, you can definitely see that there may be some sellers who jump ship if they weren't already liquidating some of their position. Bull bar popping back up, but closing on top of the break even. That's a good thing. It shows that the sellers are trying to re-up, but it does kind of suggest what we are afraid of, that there's a bit of a concern that this may reverse here. Big bull bar back up. Now the bulls need this to trigger. None of the other bull bars have triggered yet. We got 3 bull bars in a row. The last time we got 3 bull bars in a row, it was a complete and total failure after it went above it. So we've got to get like a 4th bull bar or break some pattern, break apart from what it's been doing historically. That's not it. It does pull back to the break-even point. Maybe, given the way that wick looks, shorts may potentially be exiting. Bulls, I mean, it's an inside bear bar, but there may be some longs who try to buy above that. I would still rather see the bull bar's high break just to be safe. Because, well, the last time we saw that, again, it failed. So I would rather see like another bull bar or something as extra proof. And it ends up being a bear bar. They're still not closing below that break-even point, noting. That's a big zone of interest that's causing some difficulty. Strong bull bar. If the bulls trigger above this bull bar, we could very easily have swing longs now with their stops underneath the low. And their targets to the upside with a 3-to-1 still fit inside settlement. So there will 100% be swing longs who are going to be buying into this move for a continuation up. It does not trigger and goes all the way back down again. Man alive. Okay. Still no trigger for the bulls, and now we're continuing lower. This would be... I mean, if you were short all this time sitting through all this sideways action, chances are, if it doesn't go now or soon, people are going to start jumping ship. We still have lower highs. We still technically have lower lows, although it happened on this crazy-looking bull bar. It would be nice to have a little bit of extra proof. It would also be nice to get some of these seller targets filled. Beautiful inside bear bar. This could be the pulse. More follow through. Can they actually finish the job? Oh. Okay, they get really close to the target area of the first objective. We get a little bit of bouncing. That's definitely expected. There we go. Okay, so now we're through. Now we're through this area. That's what we needed to see. So we've got extra follow through. Let's see if they can make it to the next target. More bear bars down, still following through strong. There's the next objective. So as far as these follow through objectives go, now we can start spanning them out. They got the 2-to-1. Now the next target's going to be the 3-to-1 if they really want to try to run this. More bear bars to the downside. Small little pause. Okay, now this goes back to something that I love looking at. We have a perpetual downtrend. Bear, 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 all the way down. So the first time we break one of these previous candles' highs, you've got my attention. Remember where the stop is. It's got to be way up here. So does that fit? Right, let's look at this. It doesn't fit. See how it puts the scalper's target below the major objective? I can't take that scalp. I would love to sell this. This looks so nice. Oh man, it looks so nice, but I can't. It's below a major market objective, and I cannot try to push the market through that. If my target were above this, maybe if I can get a better price, right? If I can get a better price like up here, then it fits, sure. You know, then my target's inside of it. But other than that, that's the only way that this works. They came close to the entry point, nice bear bar to the downside, and they get the pulse down. They almost finished the objective. They didn't quite make it down to the major targets. Bull bar bouncing again. Bear bar pushing down. Bull bar, oh man, they are sideways. Oh, there they go. And actually, this is the current market right now, so they just are now completing the objective as we speak. And look at the response. See, as soon as it hit it, it started backing up on itself. A lot of profit being taken, especially ahead of this. Wow. Big objectives. And if we crack through this, then we're looking for the 5-to-1 next, and that goes even further. So really interesting the way that this is setting up today and creating just a phenomenal story along the way where even inside of all of that mess, technically they weren't invalidated. It was close, but every time it got close, they couldn't trigger and they couldn't finish the job, and the market just kept on falling. Hopefully you found this one useful, interesting, and a little bit quicker, more rapid fire style, because, you know, again, the market's moving pretty quick, and with this consolidation, you don't want to spend too much time on there, but there's a lot of really cool little tidbits and chunks of information that the market kind of hid inside of here along the way, and really cool to read along with. Hopefully you found it useful, interesting, and entertaining, and of course, as always, if you have any questions, you can drop those in the comments below, or if you have a more detailed question that needs a heavier response, jhb@ssftg.com is the email. Until the next one, we'll talk to y'all then. Thanks.